This is butter. A different type of butter. A technological butter at 144 hertz. So we've got a new Red Magic device as many continue to compete for this sort of ultimate status of to create the powerhouse smartphone. The most powerful, the smoothest, the fastest display and chip, and I mean everything you would want in a super phone so that you could play games on your phone, in your pocket, at the highest frame rate possible, so you could compete at the highest level. You see, there's many competing in this space now. We had the ROG phone recently. Of course, you have the Black Sharks of the world, and then Red Magic themselves, who I featured what seems like just a minute ago here on this channel. It was actually a few months ago, a couple of months ago, but they're back. They've refined, they've improved. They've got the Red Magic 5S now, the last one of 5G. This one featuring Trinity cooling, liquid and turbofan plus ice dock. And apparently this thing dissipates heat using actual silver. Ooh, silver, like the precious material silver. 144 hertz refresh rate on a 6.5 inch display. Of course, it's got to have a Snapdragon 865. It's got a 4,500 milliamp hour battery, which is not the biggest in the game, but it keeps the phone a little more slim and trim than some of the other competitors that are out there. And then the most important feature, I suppose, on any of these gaming devices, gaming-centric devices, it does have those touch triggers, capacitive touch triggers on it. So you get a more tactile, more of a gamer-centric kind of feel. But, you know, on top of that, it's just a powerful phone. It can game, but it's also a powerful phone. What does it say on the back? Snapdragon 865, as mentioned, 5G capable. Gaming stereo sound. I actually really like the sound on the previous version, so if it's anything like that, I'll be happy. Gaming shoulder triggers, LPDDR5 plus UFS 3.1 storage. It's a 6.65 inch display. Is that what I said, or did I say 6.5? 144 hertz. I'll be playing games in this video capable of delivering 144 or above frame rate. There are some, believe it or not. Turbo fan, yes, there's an actual physical fan inside the unit to keep the heat down, so you can keep the performance that you're at. And there's also a headphone jack on here, so if you want to use a wired headphone connection for those most intense gaming sessions, you could do that. Sony triple camera sensor, 4,500 milliamp hour battery, and a new cooling design. We also have the Red Magic ice dock here, which I'll be attaching to that silver section on the rear panel of the device, and that's going to dissipate heat even more so, keep things very chilly. I've used these in the past. They actually do work. They're not strictly a gimmick. However, you've got to really utilize your device, get it cooking in the first place, and then this really starts to do its magic on the Red Magic. This is 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage. I am going to use the official Unbox Therapy unboxing knife for this video. This is the limited special edition. You can pick this up on Amazon, actually. There are a few left. Go check that out for yourself. You can unbox like a professional. I believe there's a red handle and a black handle, and the gold blade and the Unbox Therapy brand on it is absolutely limited. All right. The special sounds of Unbox Therapy. Nothing like the removal of some fresh plastic. Look at the comic book styling of the front of the box here. They've done this a couple times now. I actually like this box more than the last one, even though the last one was really unusual. All right, we have the device on the side, Red Magic logo to the right of it. It's a bigger phone, but it's not crazy big. It's not the biggest. And I got this color. What is this color? They have more than one color, I believe. Wait one second.
Oh, you didn't get the red and blue one?
I was looking for the red and blue one. I got Sonic Silver, I think. Which, you know what? I don't actually mind. I got the Sonic Silver one here. Now let me, here we go. Now, one of the reasons I don't mind the Sonic Silver is because it's a reminder in the color of the actual silver component here that's dissipating the heat. Now, on the previous version, you would have some RGB over here, But the RGB is just for looks, right? There's no extra functionality there outside of the flashiness. This time around, sure, maybe you give up some of the gamer look to it, but you get this functionality of greater heat dissipation, especially when you pair up with the little dock, the ice dock. And this has a real icy vibe to it, the whole thing. Plus, because it has this matte finish, it's very resistant to fingerprints, but it does feel surprisingly premium. You have to remember, this device, it's gonna come in somewhere around 700 bucks, which is, well, I mean, it's not cheap, but it's certainly not as expensive as some other devices with similar features and a similar spec list. And this one is a little more subdued than the crazy Superman red and blue version, where you could make the case that you could carry this around as an executive and then just party every so often with the gaming and the whatnot. All right, so looking around the device, we have this special dock connector over here on the side. This is actually an exhaust fan, a real legitimate fan that's on the inside of this device, but it's quiet. I've tested this in the past, at least previously it's been quiet. This is your game mode switch, which is textured and identified by this red coloring. When you boot into game mode, you get all sorts of game-centric features, like the ability to one-touch mute your notifications, turn on high performance, change the refresh rate. This button, you can configure it to whatever game mode you want to have or whatever features you want to be enabled once you launch game mode. On the bottom of the device, you have a Type-C connector. There's the speaker module and the SIM card tray. There's no expandable storage on this unit. This side is the fancy side, giving you capacitive touch buttons, shoulder buttons for your gaming pleasure. Of course, racing games, shooter games, they can benefit greatly from this. It moves some of the touch inputs from the display, essentially, or at least it maps them here, so your thumbs can get busy with a more singular sort of function, and then you can rapidly access, well, let's say fire, for example, inside of a shooter. You'll see how this all works as I move through the video. Another exhaust fan over here on the other side, volume rocker, and of course your power switch as well. I'm gonna put that down for a moment. Oh, by the way, there's your camera module on the back. It's Sony powered, fairly common camera setup. Camera setup, kind of a secondary functionality of this device. Yes, it's got a camera in it, but it's a gaming-centric phone. That's sort of where we want to start the analysis. That's who it's being targeted at. The unboxing experience, very similar to the previous generation with these individual boxes inside the larger box. Here is the charge cable, Type-C to Type-A. This is the power brick. Do they tell us how fast this thing's going to charge? 10 watts, which is not all that impressive, to be honest with you. We've seen some much faster charging capabilities recently, but I guess you will live with it. It does have a fairly large battery in it, 4,500, but it is important to note that some of the competitors are putting 5,000 plus inside of those devices, some of them more expensive, but it is something to consider. It does, however, give you a package that's closer in scale to a typical flagship smartphone. Also in the package, we have a SIM tool, a little bit of paperwork over there. Game time anytime. Game time anytime. Hey Kirk, when's game time?
Anytime.
Anytime. There is a little case to get you going as well. And it appears to have some jut outs on the corners here. I guess there's a little extra protection with that if you drop the thing, you know, with the corners. Although it gets a little bit bulky there. Now, if you're playing, it might actually help your fingers ever so slightly, create a more comfortable angle for them to hit these shoulder buttons. Let's try without. I don't know. Not a huge deal. I probably wouldn't use this, but it's a good thing that they include it for those that want to have something out of the gate. All right, let's go ahead and boot this up. Oh, I think there might be a screen protector, which you know I have to remove if that's the case. Ooh, is that one of those permanent screen protectors that you're meant to leave? I'm taking it off anyway. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Whoo! All right, let's boot this up. while that is booting up, let's go ahead and unbox the cooler, a Red Magic Ice Dock over here. This is obviously an accessory. It is not included in the purchase price of the device. It's an add-on. You can get it when you buy the phone. You can get it after. Actually, I think there are other accessories for this phone as well. There have been controllers and things like that in the past. I'm going to click the accessories button here on the site. Yes, there's a pro gaming kit. Transform your phone into a mobile gaming platform. That's going to give you controllers that click on to the side of this. I've tested some of those in the past. They're a little bit bulky to carry around. It's sort of a Nintendo Switch type of vibe where they clip on to the ends and you have a landscape gaming experience. Okay, oh my goodness. Yes, so this is the cooler, Red Magic logo, spring loaded. This will fit onto the outside of the device and line up with this silver section here. You can even see there's a cutout in order to better fit onto there. So we go like this and like that. And now we are cooling on another level. And this is how you get your, well, you really make a statement with this setup. Somebody sees you like this, they know you're doing something serious. They're probably not gonna bother you. Even if you're not using the fan, they're gonna just assume you're far too serious to be disrupted. But anyway, yeah, that's the way that that fits on. I'll boot that up later. This has a Type-C connector on it as well to power it. And here's the cabling and how that all works. We have this Type-C to C cable, which is going to go from here into here, I presume. Are we right about that? Or, yes. Of course, we can't read the manual. That would be cheating. Oh. No. Oh, because this has more than one Type-C on it. There we go. Yes, of course. Get it together, Lou. There we go. Check this out. How sleek is this setup? With the right-angled Type-C connector. Oh, I get it. It's like a pass-through power thing. If you were gaming for an extended session, you will pop in this Type-C connector out to your wall power, and then you'd have your gaming headset coming out of this bottom headphone jack right here, and you'd be gaming like this. And it would be absolutely fine because you have this very tight right-angled connector over here powering the device itself. So you could fully game while being powered for an extended period, whether that be for your own enjoyment or for some sort of competition. That's really interesting. Now, in order to get the fan to power up, we do have to send power to this particular, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. Fan is running. Audio sample of the fan. Now, this fan obviously makes noise. And you can hear it just rev up. We're still in the setup screen on this side of the device, but this is something that you actually get control of. So you can control how loud, how fast you want it to operate depending on your circumstance. It probably sounds louder on that microphone than it does in this room right here. But like I said, once you get into the game mode, you can tweak it to your taste. But the cool thing here is it's powering the fan and charging the phone at the same time. So I'm gonna unplug that real quick. Take the cooler off for now. I'm just gonna quickly read this privacy policy. All right, so we are at that point in the setup screen here where we would register a fingerprint. Of course, this is an in-display style fingerprint like almost everything right now. So we're just gonna at least register one of my thumbs here. Yeah, you know how that goes. Can I try it right away? Yes, of course I can. All right, so we are into the device. I'm gonna turn off the automatic brightness setting, high power consumption, full blast, and it already feels pretty quick on the refresh, but I happen to know it's only 90 Hertz. 90 Hertz is a big boost on 60 if you never tried 90 previously, but you take it to the next level at 120 and then we get crazy at 144. After 144, it's kind of arguable if you can see any extra improvement The ROG phone, for example, was actually capable of going to 160 hertz, but it wasn't enabled by default in the settings of that phone, probably because the power consumption trade-off for whatever tiny little minuscule improvement took place. It's just diminishing returns at a certain point. But 144 it seems to be what many of these manufacturers have agreed upon is the level that a premium gaming smartphone should be at. So I'm gonna click display over here, and I am going to look for screen refresh. And so, as mentioned, 90 hertz by default, high refresh, perfect combination of fluency and power consumption. Now, what you can do is just use this game mode switch over on the side here to enable 144 as soon as you go into a game where you might want that improvement over battery life. And then the rest of the time, you might just leave it in 90 hertz or 60 hertz if you want to prioritize battery life. However, if you want the ultimate experience everywhere, then you can go to 144 hertz permanently locked in, which they're calling esports level refresh rate, silky smooth screen picture. And we have it reflected up here in the status bar, letting us know and reminding us we're at 144 hertz. Right away, you're gonna see, oh my goodness, great. Now you can't pick it up actually. You're watching this video, you can't properly pick it up, but it is buttery smooth, as they say, as they like to say. They like to use butter. Butter's pretty smooth, I guess. I don't know why butter got picked up as the term. I mean, there's a lot of things that are smooth. It doesn't have to necessarily be butter. But butter is smooth. Smooth butter. When is butter butter? At what temperature is butter butter? You know, there's a couple of hot days there where, depending on if you had your air conditioner on, that butter would be liquid. And it's a very fine sort of temperature range in which butter is spreadable and smooth, and yet not completely having turned into liquid. There's a range. And then everything below a certain temperature, obviously we know what happens with butter at that point.
It's a fine line of butter.
Well, it is, because it's not frozen. It's solid in the fridge. Think about this for a second. It's a really interesting consistency butter. Anyways, this is butter, a different type of butter, a technological butter at 144 hertz. I actually have a video showcasing the difference between refresh rates. You can go check it out if you like. Maybe Kirk can show a little clip of it here. On the iPhones, it becomes obvious you're missing frames. Your brain is missing frames. Now, you might just be display even as you sort of move through it slowly. And again, very difficult to showcase on camera. You really have to do some tricky things with footage to try to portray on video what these screens are capable of and what it's like to sit in front of them. Otherwise, you can just listen to me and trust me in that these are, I mean, this is as smooth as it gets. It may be the smoothest phone in the world, I don't know. There's a number of them at this refresh rate, but when you pair together, nice 865, 144 hertz, you have yourself a time. All right, so what do I want to do? Well, let's boot into the game mode, obviously. I hit the button in the top there, and all of a sudden I get into my dedicated game space, smart game acceleration, take advantage, and you manage your whole experience from in here. You pull out from the right-hand side, and you see a lot of specs, a lot of options. You can see the CPU speed, the game enhancement, the shoulder triggers button if you want to modify that. You have your network, current network speed. You have your fan button to enable or disable your fan. Your screen refresh rate is also within here. There's an aiming assist. It's a huge amount of configurability right within the app, so you don't have to leave here. And anything that may impact your gaming session is available just with a simple slide out from the right-hand side. Now, your games are also going to live in here, so you can kind of just scroll through them like this, and you can just hit this plus button and go ahead and add games in here natively. That's a hail of a notification. I'm inside of Bullet Force right now, and the reason for selecting this game, and I've used it in the past for these gaming phone videos, is because it doesn't have a capped frame rate, so it can actually take advantage of displays that go beyond 60 hertz. And what I have on the screen right now is actually this setup. I'm about to get shot because I have the setup on here for the triggers on the top, and you can map them to any section of the screen and will save your settings within the game mode. And so as you can see here, I can put my left shoulder down here in the bottom left corner. I can put my right shoulder over here. Now, I also have options for vibration feedback and the sensitivity level, normal, low, high. I guess if you feel like they're too sensitive and picking up clicks that aren't supposed to be there, you can turn it down. And then the opposite, if normal's not cutting it for sensitivity, you can go to high. Now, when I close this off, you don't have to see it anymore. The touch button is just saved. And after I deploy, this is now mapping to here, and this maps to down the crosshairs, as you can see. Now, that's a huge advantage for a shooter game because it allows your thumbs to stay focused on aiming, which I've still got to get the hang of here. Give me a moment. I'll get a kill, I promise. There we go. I got some help on that, though. But yeah, you can keep moving around, aiming with a little bit less clutter on the display and still moving here. See, if I didn't have that shoulder button, I'd have to go down here to hit the shoot button. But instead, it sort of lives permanently on the trigger. That's my teammate, but I wanted to showcase. Let's go see if I can find somebody. Ooh, he got me anyways. Maybe he's got the red magic himself. Maybe he splurged on his very own red magic. Oh, who's firing there? It's from that side. There you go. He's dead, but he was already beat up from my other guy. So my kids always yell at me in Warzone. They're like, "Dad, reload! Reload!" And I can never remember to do the reload, you know? I'm always showing up in a gunfight, ready to go. Got the dude in the crosshairs, and it's like, oh, your clip's half empty. Oh, there he is. You got a dude over here. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Where did he go? I'm going to go out on a kill. There's no way we're going to leave it like that. Now, I can hear the fan kicking up on the device at this moment. It's not super distracting, but it's there. It's like a slight hum to it. Maybe I should let you hear it, actually. It's a slight hum to it. It's nowhere near the dedicated fan unit. There we go. See if his buddy comes back. Oh, it's a double! That's how you go out. That's two. Just got them both. That's just, I snuck up, down the sights, you know? All right, so yes, it's an absolute beast for the gaming. Obviously, if you play games on your phone, I don't care if it's a racing game, I don't care if it's a shooting game, pretty much any game can benefit from the game mode on here, the 144 hertz display, and the triggers, maybe most importantly, on the top. Yes, there are those external accessories to add controllers and things like that, but are you really gonna carry it with you when you have this quick opportunity to jump into a game? Do you have all those accessories, or do they stay at home? And that's where I like the implementation of these smooth little triggers. You don't even have to notice them when you're not using them, right? It's just a regular smartphone in those moments. And then when you do jump into a game, boom, you all of a sudden get that advantage. So it covers a couple of different people. It covers the individual who's more casual but still wants a really nice gaming experience on their phone. And then the at-home or competitive style gamer who maybe wants to set up a rig with a dedicated headset and keep it plugged in most of the time and put the controllers on and everything else. Then you have something maybe closer to like a game console that is inside of your smartphone. The fingerprint scanner is fast. I like where they put the power switch. It's very low on the device, which is nice on a larger or heavier device. The sound is loud. Maybe I should play a video real quick just to give another little sound test. Here's a Lou Later clip.
Apple Pegatron?
Yes.
If you want to manufacture for Apple, you need an on.
It sounds great. Great audio, great multimedia. You have the fan there. You can use the boost if you choose to. You can leave it alone if you choose to. You can run it like a regular phone at 60 or 90 hertz and increase your battery life, or you can throw on 144 hertz all the time because that's just how you roll. It's completely up to you. Yes, it has a camera, and I know you're saying, Lou, we want to see a camera test, so I'll give you one real quick right here, but it is important to note that's not the core focus or functionality. I will snap a photo actually of the official Unbox Therapy unboxing knife that I referenced earlier. So maybe I'll just hold that up and do a couple different shots for you. This is in the standard focal range. This would be your optimal camera situation. Boom. Pretty fast little shutter there. We'll do the 3x. A little zoom on it. Not bad, actually. And we will go to the 5x. Whoa. We're into blade zone. And we will do the 10x. This is insane. How is this going to work out? Wow, so it's actually better than I expected. I was thinking I was gonna wobble because I was holding the knife and holding the phone, but that sort of worked out, even though it's not the best image ever. I mean, what were we at, 10x, but still. There is the 5x, I believe it was, 3x. The standard one looks the best by far. Actually, that's not a terrible image. So yeah, this is one of the benefits of using off-the-shelf hardware. Some of these Sony sensors is, you know, there's decent photo quality to be had even from newer or lesser known manufacturers who just throw in something that's tried and tested. We will do a beard test. Kirk reminded me it's been a while since I've done one. So let's see how that goes. I gotta turn off the beauty, obviously. We're gonna just throw that all the way down to off. I don't need it. I've got the beauty thing covered already, so it's no extra that's necessary. And we're gonna do a 3 and a 2 and a 1. And let's see how that worked out. And you know what? That ain't half bad either. There's the contrast. I believe that's me in the frame. I believe that's me in the photo. And I believe there are some beard hairs that you could count if you were here, though I wouldn't want to try. What do you say? Is that 1 million beard hairs? What is it? How many? How many hairs on the human face? Somebody's gonna go look it up.
Yes.
I don't know. I would say 500,000? Nah, maybe not. That might be crazy. Maybe it's only like 10,000. Somebody tell me in the comments, how many hair follicles on the human face? It would be so different though for each person because the beard coverage and the density and I don't know. Anyways, it is the new Red Magic 5S. Gamers rejoice. Gamers will love it. It's a powerful and smooth smartphone. It's hard to imagine a smoother one right now. They pretty much all have the chip in common with the 865. I think a couple of them might have the Plus, but you understand the performance is pretty much already there once you have the 865. The 144 hertz display is the key characteristic. And this one is it's a little bit slimmer and lighter because of the 4,500 milliamp hour battery, but the fit and finish is surprising for the price, and you even get a headphone jack on there. I mean, those are hard to find, even on gaming phones, actually. And it puts a headphone jack into the cooler as well, if you prefer, but this one can be convenient. Ooh, he got me anyways. Maybe he's got the Red Magic.